Thank you. It's a great honor to be here with you, and I love this state. We came this close from winning this. One more speech. Oh, one more speech. But we're winning Minnesota next time. I have no doubt about it. We've done a lot for Minnesota. And they are very special people. I want to thank Kevin McCarthy, our leader, for joining us. You've done a fantastic job, Kevin. Thank you. As well as Congressman Tom Emmer. Tom, thank you. And Jason Lewis, who have really done a great job. Thank you, Jason. We've kept you a little busy, I think, but you've done great. Jason, Tom, thank you very much, and Kevin, always. Thanks also to Deputy Secretary David Bernhardt, St. Louis County Commissioners Keith Nelson and Pete Stauber. Where's Pete? Where is he? Right here. We're going to have a very exciting time in about 45 minutes. I hear there's a big crowd, a lot of people being turned away. We can't do that. We'll put up a screen outside or something, fellas. I want to also thank Mayors Robert Vasilevich. This is a great group of names they gave me. And by the way, you were so fantastic. You were given a quote today in the New York Times about helping this incredible state. I appreciate it, Robert. And Andrea Zuponzic and Ray Klazowski and President of the Duluth Seaway Port Authority and Kelsey Johnson. Oh, Kelsey. Kelsey Johnson. Oh, I love that name, Johnson. But seriously, you guys really gave me some beautiful stuff, and we appreciate it very much. We appreciate what you said. Also, President of the Iron Mining Association of Minnesota, and Kelsey, iron mining is really booming now with what we've done, and it's so important, and I appreciate your support. You said some wonderful things, and we're making a big difference, right?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
It's a hot place.
Yes.
And it wasn't so hot about 2 or 3 years ago.
It wasn't so hot.
In fact, we can be exact, about 16 months ago. It wasn't doing so well. We're joined by wonderful union members and workers at the Great American Steel and Iron Mining Companies, Adam Morse, Dean Carlson, and Mike Tishy. And also we have Craig Jusela. Where's Craig? I love that name. That's not bad, right, Jusela? That's pretty good? Good. That's about the easiest one they gave me today. Today we'll hear from citizens who are thriving as a result of our efforts to put America workers first. We're putting America first again, folks. You know, we're respected again as a country. Okay? We have the worst trade deals in the history of the world. We gave away our country, but we're taking it back for our workers, for our companies, for our jobs, for our money, for our taxes. It's incredible. And, you know, we have a lot of friends, but our friends in many respects, Kevin, treated us worse on trade than the enemies. And we're doing a lot of things about it. We're renegotiating trade deals left and right, and they're all coming back. You know, we have, I want to say, right on our side. We also have the fact that we have been taken advantage of for many, many years, and it's not happening anymore. Not happening anymore. And you see it, going on, and it's not happening anymore. Our economy is booming. We've created more than 3.4 million jobs since the election. If I would have said that during the election, those people back there, fake news, they would have said, there's no way. Look, he exaggerates. I would have said 3. I wouldn't have said 3.4. I would have said 2. I would have said 1 million jobs. We created 3.4 million jobs since the election. And I will tell you, if the Democrats got in, instead of having an almost 40% increase in stock markets and all of the things that you see every day, and that's despite a little disruption in trade because people don't understand it. The reporters don't understand it. A lot of the stock markets don't understand it. But we are way up in every way. And if I wanted to be nice and easy, just let them continue to take advantage of us, but ultimately would be paying the price. It was time to do something about it. So the trade is going to be fantastic. We're going to end up with really great trade deals. And fair trade deals. I don't even mean great. I'm not looking great. I'm looking for fair trade deals. They are so far out of balance and out of whack, and they're going to be changed. So 3.4 million jobs since the election. Unemployment claims are at the lowest level in 44 years. And African American unemployment and Hispanic unemployment are at the lowest level in recorded history, in the history of the country, the lowest level. And women unemployment, lowest in 21 years. And if we keep going, within about a month or so, I'll be the lowest also in history. Wages are rising for the first time. So the employers, I'm not sure the employers are too happy about that, but it's a good thing. Wages, for years, I mean, I'd go out and I'd campaign. I'd talk about people making more money 21 years ago than they made today. Well, now their wages, for the first time in about 19 years, are going up, and our workers deserve that. We had people working 3 jobs, 2 jobs, and they were doing worse than they did 20 years ago. That's not happening anymore. At the heart of our America First economic agenda are massive tax cuts, which we got with Kevin and all of the folks up here. We got approved, not since Ronald Reagan, and ours are bigger, and our plan is much bigger, and our reform. We got Anwar. We got the individual mandate knocked out. That was the beautiful Obamacare disaster. Where you paid a fortune for the privilege of not having to buy Obamacare. Can you believe it? So you paid a lot of money for the privilege of not having to pay for bad health care. So we've done a real job, and we just got association health care approved, which is going to be incredible. You associate as companies, as people, and you're going to get great health care, highly competitive at a much lower price than you've been paying. It's all kicking in right now. We actually beat Obamacare. It was done, and then one gentleman decided to go like this at the final moment, late in the morning. I'm sure you don't know who I'm talking about, but that's fine because we've just about killed it anyway. It is a horror show, Obamacare. So we have that, and we're going to be announcing another health care in the next 2 weeks, done by Secretary Alex Azar, who's one of the great executives, that he decided to come over here at a very substantial pay cut and run something like it's like playing a violin by a great talented person. He's done an incredible job, and we're going to be announcing health care, another form of health care, in about 2 weeks, and it's going to be very exceptional. We've done things in terms of health that have been, you know, if you had a problem, you had a kind of a health problem that was just real. You had to go to different countries to look. We have right to try. For years, they've been trying to get this approved. Right to try. You're terminally ill. You want hope. You want your health back. And we have these incredible drugs in the pipeline, which we, by the way, we're taking them from many years into a much shorter period of time. But we have a right to try. We're now, instead of going, people were going to other continents to see if they could get helped and get help. And we now have the right where you can go, and we give you things that look promising. And a lot of people are very happy about that. And a lot of this is going to work, too. I mean, very importantly, it's going to work. So it's called Right to Try, just passed recently. And that's something that, to me, was always very important. I could never understand why they're going to Africa and Asia and Europe and all over the world to try and get help when we have the greatest medicine in the world right here and the great doctors. And Kevin, I would never have believed that was going to be so hard. But there were lots of problems. The insurance companies had problems. The healthcare companies had problems. The pharmaceutical companies had problems. But we worked it out, and now you have it, and you have it at the highest level. So it's something I think, hopefully you don't need it, okay? Hopefully nobody needs it. But at least if you're in this very unfortunate position, you have a real good shot. At the heart of our America First agenda are the tax cuts and the reduction in regulations. I think the reduction in regulations are as big a factor in the country's success as anything that we've done, including the tax cuts. We've cut more regulations, and we have regulations. You need regulation. We want the cleanest air that you can have, and we have that. We want crystal clean water, so important. But it was crazy what was happening. You couldn't do anything. You know about it from the mining industries and all of the different work that you've had stopped and that now is going forward. So much work is going forward in Minnesota and in so many other states. So we have a regulation situation that has been not fully implemented because we have statutorily, we have certain lengths of time. You can't do anything after 90 days and you have to wait another 120 days. But we've cut out massive numbers of regulations, more regulations than any president in the history of our country. And that's 4 years, 8 years, or in one case, 16 years. We've done that in 500 days. And we have more to cut. As you know, in Minnesota, we've set a record on expansion of American energy. We're now a exporter of energy for the first time. We're actually selling energy, which we hadn't done. We're trying to take care of ourselves. We're much less reliant on faraway lands that we always had to protect. And now we'll protect our friends, but we're not protecting our enemies. You saw that with the Iran deal that we terminated, and rightfully so. It was a horrible deal for our country. So we have fair and reciprocal trade for American workers. We want to be treated in a reciprocal way. It's so important. We have other people that will charge, as an example, 375% tariff on dairy products, and we charge very little. That's not reciprocal. That's really a barrier to our farmers and to people selling to those other countries. So we want reciprocal trade. And the era of economic surrender for the United States is over. It's just over. And just to finish up, national security, we had $700 billion approved for our military. We had $716 billion approved for next year for our military. We needed that. I hated the last budget, except I loved what happened to our military. And sometimes you'll take a little bit of a hit in order to take care of military. Without the military, we're not here. We have the most powerful military that we've ever had very shortly online. We're ordering planes, we're ordering ships, we're ordering a lot of different things, the finest equipment in the world. We make the best equipment. It also means jobs, secondarily in this case. Jobs, in the case of military, to me, are secondary. But we're making and building and the finest planes and ships and everything else in the world for our military. We will have the most powerful, the strongest military that we've ever had, and hopefully we'll never have to use it. You know, when you're in that position, you don't have to use it. When you're in a weak position, you probably do, and bad things happen. So the military is taken care of. We want to have a very strong border. As you know, I signed an executive order this morning letting families stay together. The laws are horrible. We have the weakest, most pathetic immigration laws anywhere in the world. Nobody has laws like we do. Mexico, which makes over $100 billion a year with us, but we're changing that. Mexico, with the NAFTA deal, makes a fortune. They have very powerful immigration laws. They could stop the immigration on the spot, but they choose not to do it. I made them do it with respect to the caravan from 3 weeks ago, where 2,000 people started and about 100 people got through. But they could stop. They have a 2,000-mile journey up Mexico. Mexico doesn't stop the people. Well, we're not going to put up with it, and I'm going to make it a part of NAFTA that they have to. In the meantime, we're working on laws on making them very strong, but we have to make them compassionate. We hire thousands of judges. No other country does this. Judges. We don't want judges. We want Border Patrol. I want Border Patrol. They're not supposed to be in the country they're not supposed to be. Now, they can enter at your port of entry, and that's fine. But we have to have control of our borders. And once we lose our borders, we lose our country. We don't have a country. And once we ease up and say, oh, gee, everybody please come up, we'll have millions of people flowing through. You have plenty of problems up here in Minnesota with respect to people coming in. And you've had a lot of problems and a lot of difficulty, and it's probably one of the reasons that I almost won Minnesota, which hasn't been won by a Republican statewide in a long time. And you've seen a big difference already in Minnesota, tremendous difference. A lot of things have happened, credible things have happened having to do with immigration in Minnesota since we got in. So we have to have strong borders, totally strong. We can't put up with the nonsense. At the same time, we're doing it with compassion, and I signed an executive order keeping families together because I think that's probably a very important thing to be doing, and I also think that it's the right thing to do. But we haven't let up. We're very, very powerful at the border. We're going to need the wall, has to be built. We got to stop the drugs from pouring in. We have to stop people from coming in if they're not authorized to come in, if they don't go through the process. You know, we have tremendous numbers of people that have waited for years and years and years to come in, and they've gone through a process, and it's been a hard process and a long process, and then you have people coming over the border. All of a sudden, they're in our country. It's a very unfair situation, and we're going to stop it. We're going to have laws by the time, as soon as I can do it. This has been going on for many, many decades. This hasn't started here. This is a disaster for many decades. So we worked and did a great job on North Korea. We did a great job on the economy. And as I said, if the other group got in, your economy would have gone down the tubes because they would have put more regulations on, more taxes. They wouldn't have given you a tax decrease. They would have given you a massive tax increase. Nancy Pelosi came out the other day. She wants everybody to pay much more taxes. She wants to end the tax cuts, and she wants people to pay much more taxes. You do that, you will totally kill this economy. You'll kill the country. So instead of going up, and you'll see what the numbers are, they'll be released fairly soon for the quarter. But you look at GDP at 3.2%, and I think they're going to go much higher. I mean, we're doing so well. But if I would have said 3.2% to those people back there, nobody would have believed it. And we're doing 3.2%. We were at 1.2, and I'm telling you, we were headed down. We were going down because I sort of love the way they say, Obama did the economy. Obama. If Hillary Clinton got elected, our economy would be a disaster right now, be a total disaster, and our trade deals would have gotten worse instead of gotten better. So we're very proud of what we've done. We're very proud of this state and the people of the state of Minnesota. They are incredible people, and you have some tremendous stories to tell. And maybe we're going to start, Kelsey, with you, and you'll sort of lead us around the table, okay?
Sure,
thank you very much, Dawn. Thank you for everything you've done.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And I can't thank you enough for the Section 232
right.
and the steel tariffs. We have definitely seen an increase in our overall productivity, and we've had a lot of employees called back, not only in our iron mines, but also in our steel-making facilities, and that has really been a real benefit to this area. We thank you very much for taking that very seriously and raising that issue both here in the United States, but internationally as well. The quotas were a good answer, but I think that this is a very solid answer, and we're very, very appreciative of that.
Well, I don't like the quotas as much as the tariffs. I never have, because the quotas mean you might run out of material. I never want to run out of material, but you know, we have on steel 25%, on aluminum 10%, and I will tell you, I've had the head of U.S. Steel called me the other day, and he said, we're opening up 6 major facilities and expanding facilities that have never been expanded. They haven't been opened in many, many years. Yes. And the steel industry is doing unbelievably well very quickly, quicker than I even thought. Aluminum, the same thing, and we've done it with other products too. But in particular, steel and aluminum, you can't lose these industries. We need these industries. We need them for national defense. We need them for a lot of reasons. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Please.
My name's Adam Morris. I'm a production truck driver with U.S. Steel Mintech. I wanted to thank you for your America First policies. It's really helping our industry a lot.
And I love your hat.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that hat. Wow.
The tax plan is working. I'm seeing a difference in my paycheck, so thank you for that. And you're right about regulation. If certain groups get their way about sulfates and regulations in Minnesota, we're going to be out of a job, and the Iron Range will suffer. We'll be out of business. So again, on that with regulation, we thank you for reducing them and giving us a chance to do our job.
And you know, we're working very hard on opening up that area so that we can explore it and see what's there, and I think we'll be able to do it. We have one further approval to get, as you know very well, and Pete's working on it very hard, and I think we're going to really produce something We were talking about it just a little while ago coming down. I think we're going to be able to do that. I made a call already. We'll get it done. That's a big, big, important thing for our country and for Minnesota. So we're going to get that done for you. Okay? Thank you. Pete?
Mr. President, thank you for coming to the great state of Minnesota and for coming to our port and seeing the men and women that have built America. Our union workers have built this country, and the steel workers won World War II. Our iron range produced the most steel, and we won World War II because of the men and women on the iron range. And Mr. President, you mentioned you're talking about the land withdrawal. We are on the cusp of doing something great. We have the biggest precious metals find in the world, and we are going to mine precious metals, and we will do it safely. We have the greatest freshwater lake in the world, Lake Superior, which we all love,
right.
And we will keep that pristine. So I appreciate your time coming here and speaking to the folks here on the port and the iron range and the building and construction trades folks. I will also add that we have a great industry as well in the timber, in our logging and timber industry that is vitally important. We need to be able to cut 100% of the sales on our federal forests rather than half. That's going to keep good people in work.
Okay. And as you know, we're working on that, Pete, and we've come a long way on that. And it's among the most valuable pieces of land in the world that you have right here in Minnesota, but you can't touch it. And people want to explore it, and they want to see what they can do. So we're going to be working on that. That's going to probably happen. I want to let you know what's probably going to happen.
Greatly
and congratulations. Good luck in your race, and I know you're going to do very well. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
Mr. President, at the end of last year, you issued an executive order developing a strategy for critical minerals.
Right.
And you recognize that the United States, despite its vast natural resource wealth, was very dependent on foreign sources for critical minerals. And your direction to us at Interior was to do additional mapping and look at streamlining our permitting processes and creating greater access of federal lands. And we have been rigorous and relentless in doing that and driving that forward. And we believe that you may have inherited a mess, but this is an area where we really, truly can fix America.
Right, we will do that. We've made a lot of progress, as you know, in a very short period of time. Somebody said coming over that the previous administration took away your way of life. And I said, wow, that's such an incredible statement. That's such a tough statement. But there's a lot of truth to it. In a certain way, your way of life was taken away, and livelihoods were taken away for no reason. And if you do what you want to do, it'll be better, and the land will be better. So we're going to be, I think we're going to be closer than anyone understands or thinks. We've done it with so many other elements of what we've touched with the administration, so I think we're going to be able to pull that off, and we're working very hard on it, okay? Thank you very much. Please.
Mr. President, it's an honor, and it's great you're a man of your word. You, through the campaign, you promised to put the American worker first, and I just want to thank you for that, all my fellow miners. I've been in this industry for 42 years, and I went through bankruptcies with different, I worked forever with Taconite, and we went bankrupt. Cliffs came in and invested $75 million. And all them job losses were because of imported steel and dumping. And I just want to thank you on behalf of my fellow workers for your administration's tariffs on this steel. It'll certainly help. And just again, being a man of your word and putting the American worker first.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you very much. That's really good. Thank you. And Jason, you and Tom have really helped us get there, and you've been fighting for this state so hard, and you don't play games. These two people, they don't play games. We have another one, Sean Duffy. I don't know if he's in the room, but he's at the rally already, see? He didn't want to bother with us. He's already at the rally. We have a lot of people going to that rally, I think. How many people are there? Like 9,000, 10,000? That's only because that's all it could handle. It's more, but that's all it could handle. Jason, go ahead.
Well, Mr. President, thank you so much for coming to Minnesota, and you will win Minnesota in 2020.
I
can
hope
guarantee
so.
you that. You know, just to piggyback on what the President said, the previous administration had passed some 600 major rules with a significant economic impact. That's $100 million. That's one rule every 5 days. The Federal Register had 97,000 pages in it by the time Obama was done. This administration, under President Trump, and this Congress went in there and repealed many of those executive branch rules with 16 signed congressional review acts going back into the previous administration undoing those rules. Up until the 115th, up until President Donald J. Trump, the Congress had done one CRA. We did 16 in 500 days. That's repealing about $3.7 billion of rules and regulations that were hampering energy and mining and manufacturing in Minnesota. So for that, we just thank the President, and we've got more work to do in the 115th, and Kevin's been a great leader. But we're going to continue this job because, folks, we've only just begun.
Great. Thank you, Jason. Good job. You've done a great job. Thank you, Jason. Please.
Hi. Thank you again for coming. This is truly a great honor for not only myself, but my town as well. We're in northern Minnesota, a small town, and our biggest fear and concern right now is the withdrawal of the withdrawal proposal, which is affecting 235,000 acres of exploratory mining. And we have over 4 billion tons of copper and precious metals that we have the largest supply. So, but not only does that affect, as everyone knows, the defense and everything that goes along with it, but those mining leases contribute billions of dollars to our school trust funds for the K through 12 education system for the entire state. So without that, we don't have that money for the school trust funds as well. So it's twofold, and our town has potentially 2 mines, additional mines, on top of Cleveland Cliffs, awesome company, North Shore Mining. We have a lot to gain, and we have even more to lose if this doesn't happen. And we want to see our town continue to thrive to what it was once and even better. So.
Good, thank you. You've gone through the Department of Interior. I hear you're pretty far along. And now you need Department of Agriculture, surprisingly, actually, but it's now up to Secretary Perdue. And I know he's looking at it very strongly, and I think you'll do very well.
Well, and we also have a hat for you here, too.
Oh, I like that.
Do you? Got it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Mr.
Please.
President, my name is Craig Jusla, which I'm glad you got my last name right.
I got it.
A lot of people don't.
I got it.
But I work for Cleveland Cliffs up in Silver Bay at their taconite facility at North Shore Mining. I'm a shiploader and heavy equipment operator, and I'm a 4th-generation miner. It runs deep in my family. It's really important to us to keep these jobs going. I put my 2 kids through college with the money I make. And my dad worked there. He started there in 1962, so there's been a Jusla working in Silver Bay since 1962. And I'm also a city councilor. And back in 2015, the plant was idled because of steel imports. We all got laid off. It's not a good feeling. So now with your tariffs, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Hopefully, we'll keep on going strong. And I'm happy to announce that Cleveland Cliffs is spending $75 million in Silver Bay to make a new pellet that we're going to produce there for DR grade iron ore pellets. They can go directly into electric arc furnace. So it's really good. And it's clear that your actions are letting this happen. And I hope you come away from your visit to Northeast Minnesota with a full appreciation of how important these jobs are. I mean, they keep us going. And lastly, we'd really like to thank you and appreciate your commitment to the trade enforcement, and that you keep on doing it.
Thank you very much, Craig. That's beautiful, and I appreciate it. And I want to tell you about the tariffs. People don't talk about this. Not only has the steel industry come back, the aluminum industry come back. You look at solar panels. Solar panels it was dead. They were all coming in from China and putting our companies out of business, and not a high quality either. It was not what we want. And we had, I believe, 32 plants, and almost every one of them was closed. And now they're starting to open again. We did tariffs on solar panels. We did tariffs on washing machines. They were dumping washing machines. Would you believe this? It's actually a big business, but they were dumping washing machines all over the country. and our companies were going out of business and leaving the country. They were all leaving and going to other places to make the washing machines. Now they're all coming back, and that business is a vibrant business, and it's going to very soon be a very big business and a very vibrant business again. So, but one thing nobody talks about is the money that's pouring into the Treasury. You know, these tariffs, you're talking about billions and billions of dollars, and money's pouring into the Treasury. We forgot about that. Nobody ever mentions it. And nobody mentions the jobs, but the jobs in steel and aluminum and iron ore and all of the different industries that, you know, that go to make this up. It's a tremendous thing happening, a beautiful thing happening. And again, Kevin understands this because he sees it, but we have billions of dollars coming back into our Treasury. And foreign nations were just ripping us left and right. And honestly, we had presidents that didn't do anything about it. They didn't understand it. It wasn't their thing, but they didn't understand it. But it was going to destroy our country. So we're not letting that happen. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate it very much. Please.
Mr. President, I can't appreciate this visit here. On behalf of Evelyn, the surrounding area, I've been mayor there off and on for 16 years, but when I first heard about your ideas of tariffs and fair trade, I knew that was going to bring stability to our main industry, because other than taconite, our main exporters are young people from school. There are no opportunities. And to speak from everyone else here, we have some opportunities, some copper nickel projects are on the verge of starting, and they're caught bogged down in the bureaucratic swamp, and I think they need a jump start, because the environmentalists are not so much concerned about the environment as one of these projects starting up. Their fear is they will perform as advertised and meet specification.
Right.
And that will bring us the economic diversity we'd like to see up here. So if we do have problems, we'll have a diverse mineral base to fall back on, and we'll never again have this feast or famine economy. And I think you got 6 years to get this done for us, so we're banking on it. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your nice statements. Of all places, the New York Times. And that was really great. Yeah, give that over. Give that over.
Thank you for your visit.
Thank you. Thank
Mr.
you.
President,
Thank you very much for those statements, by the way. Yes.
A couple of success stories. You probably saw that large flag hanging off of the boom truck when you came in.
That's right.
That company is called Altec. And if you look closer, you saw a hiring sign on there. We recently completed an agreement with those folks. We built them a $3.5 million addition to their warehouse. They, in turn, contributed $14 million with a commitment to put 300 jobs in the next 3 years. They're already at 100. And we just signed that agreement. And we haven't started digging yet, and they're asking for more space. So
big difference.
That's a success story. Another one is we've set up an intermodal freight area here at Duluth, never been done before, where we are now handling containers from the West Coast. We have the capability to ship anywhere, in any time with anything as a result of that capability. The customers that we've been used to, our old tried and true customers, have experienced expansion because of the new tax structure and the lack of regulations. And they're coming to us with more business than we've seen in the past. We've got new customers coming from within our area and outside of our area, looking for more for our logistics capability here. By the way, these logistics guys in the high visibility shirts there with Lake Superior Warehousing, our partners have done all this.
Great. Stand up. Great. Thank you, fellas. Thank you very much. Great job.
We'd expected modest gains in our container operation, but it's exceeded that. We are now looking to increase our container yard again with a large expansion. And the Highway Department is looking at an intersection that is up here at the intersection of I-35. It's become a priority project because they anticipate a 2- to 3-fold increase in truck traffic coming out of the port. We're shipping cargo out of here and receiving it that never thought of before. And it's all due to the economic boom. People are feeling that and are using us.
Well, thank you very much. And the expensing is a big help. I know the expensing is, the one-year expensing, that's one of the, I think that's going to be the superstar of all of the different clauses that we do. Very simple clause, but one-year expensing that helps people that have businesses just like yours, and it's been pretty amazing. I will say this, they were dumping steel into our country, like dumping it. And people said, oh, that's terrible. But where it's really terrible is after you lose all your steel industry and after you lose all your aluminum industry, then they set any price they want because you're gone. So they dump it, they ruin your industry, and then they dump not so freely anymore. They increase prices to a level that you can't pay. And that's what would have happened, but we never let them get to that second step. That second step would have been devastating. What happens? Tom Emmer, go ahead, Tom. Thank you for that letter, and you've done a great job.
My wife sent me a note when I showed her the picture that you had read her letter, and she said she's in love, so I think I have a problem. Mr. President, Jason is right. Jason Lewis, you are going to win Minnesota next time. You will be the first Republican since 1972, and the reason is this. We can listen to all these great stories, but on behalf of my state and the people who live here that I love, you are a leader at a time when there are so few leaders around the world. The people that you see in this room right now and the people who are sitting up here have been dying for somebody to hear them, to listen to them, and to understand what they need. Instead, they've had academics and intellectuals patting them on the head for years, telling them, we got this, we'll take care of you. And they've been killing their livelihoods up here in the great North and all across this country. God bless you for following through and talking to the forgotten men and women of this country. And thank you so much. It's an honor to serve you.
Thank you, Tom. Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very nice. Thank you. Please.
Mr. President, I want to talk about the jobs. Now, the copper nickel mining with PolyMet and Twin Metals, great jobs, great paying jobs with great benefits, but it's not just those people who are benefiting from this building and mining that's going to take place. There's secondary and tertiary jobs that they supply all of the mines, and they're going to have to hire more people, and they as well have very good paying jobs that they can support their families on. So that very important to have these mines take place and help revitalize northeastern Minnesota. And on top of that, it has national security implications. You know, it really, national security, not just, we don't want to rely on our enemies, but we need to rebuild our infrastructure. And what a great resource to build with our own homegrown materials, homemade materials, and rebuild the infrastructure of America.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I say it so much, and it's so sad, but we have $7 trillion in the Middle East. You might as well throw it out the window. $7 trillion. And now you want to build a road in Minnesota, you want to do something for peanuts. It's like you have to fight for every nickel and dime. It's ridiculous. That's why I'm so happy with what we did with the military, with the $700 billion and 716 the second year, $billion. But I appreciate what you're saying, and we're starting infrastructure. We've already passed some very good infrastructure bills. We're working on airports. We're like a third world country with our airports. It's ridiculous. We led the way years ago, many years ago, and now you land in airports in China and in Saudi Arabia and in different places, Dubai, and you look at these airports and you say, this is incredible. We're like a third world country with our airports. It's not going to happen. So we're rebuilding airports. We're building our control systems and doing a lot of work already. But what is happening is growth, and growth really solves just about all the problems, and the growth is far beyond whatever anybody thought. Nobody thought they'd see growth like the kind of growth. During debates, I would talk about, we'd have a debate, I'd talk about growth, and nobody knew what I was talking about. Well, the growth has been far bigger than anybody ever thought possible. And the numbers, you know, if we go up 1 point in GDP, 1 point, it's $3 trillion, and it's 10 million jobs. Think of that. 1 point. And we'll see if we hit the 4s, but we're going to be very close to hitting the 4s, and if we would have said 4s, if we would have said 2s, nobody would have believed it. But I think we're going to be starting to hit 4s. So we'll see. Those numbers are going to start coming out over the next number of months and over the next number of years. But I think we'll even go higher than that. So thank you with what you said. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, it is a tremendous honor and a privilege to have you come. Welcome to St. Louis County.
Thank you.
Mr. President, on behalf of the women that I represent, I was asked to ask you one question. How is the First Lady feeling?
She's doing great. She went through a pretty big thing, but she came out. I mean, she's really great doctors at Walter Reed Medical Center. She is doing fantastically well. She's all 100%.
Mr. President, the great thing about being last is I've gotten to hear pretty much all of the concerns that we have up here in northeastern Minnesota. But I really want to touch on a couple of things. And I have to tell you that the people that I represent and that district, by the way, in St. Louis County, produces the vast majority of taconite pellets in these United States of America. And if you look back in that second row there, you will see the people that are the general managers of each and every one of those taconite plants. Mr. President?
Up. I want to see it. Stand up. Good job.
You will also see the general manager of what is going to be the first copper nickel mine in northeastern Minnesota, John Cherry.
Good. Good luck.
And we also have with us here today representatives from the building trades. These are the men and women who, they're not temporary jobs, Mr. President. They're permanent jobs in temporary locations, building this great country. So when we have Mike Seversrud and these building trades folks out here, they're seeing the difference that you're making. We in northeastern Minnesota, we're sick and tired of the bureaucrats telling us what we can do with the lands that we cherish. And Mr. President, we have some of the cleanest lakes, streams, and rivers in the United States of America. And we've been mining here for 100 years. So, Mr. President, when you get back inside that beltway out there, stay on top of those regulations.
We will.
Get them off our back even more. And I promise you, this Iron Range will make this country proud.
Very good. I know that. I know that. So what you're saying is you don't need the bureaucrats from D.C. to come and tell you how to take care of your beautiful lakes and rivers, and nobody has more than you do. I agree with that 100%.
And if I can just talk fair trade for just a second. In about 6 months, you're going to take from the St. Louis County Board probably one of the best commissioners we've had in 20 years, okay? I want something back, okay?
Trade, Pete?
I want something back, Mr. President. We'll bring you more jobs.
We made a good deal. We made a good deal. You're right. That's great. That's great. Pete is outstanding and loves this state, loves this country. So good. We're going to spend a lot of time together today. It's going to be very exciting in about an hour from now, right, Pete? Thank you very much. Great. Beautifully said. Kevin?
Well, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk about you to all of you. What a difference one administration makes, right? What a difference one president makes. Now, I get to see him behind closed doors and out front. He's no different. The facts don't lie. So he set a goal, and he surpasses all the goals. He said, for every one new regulation you want to propose, you got to cut 2. You know what he's averaged? he's cut 22 for every new one that's proposed. You talk about unemployment. In the last 49 years in this country, unemployment has only been below 4% 7 months in 49 years. But 2 of those 7 months were April and May of this year. Think about how far we're going. Now come Friday is our 6-month anniversary of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act bill. We didn't name it, he did. And you know what? He was right. Look at what the tax cuts have done. Just created its 1 millionth job. Look at the jobs that are being created, and look at the money that is going back and the raises is going forward. Now, we're not far from the Iron Range, and that's what you all talk about. Our first Republican president was a guy named Abraham Lincoln. And he referred to those founders at the creation of our country, that generation, as the Iron Men, because they fought for the foundation and the values. We know who the Iron Men and women are today. They're the workers. They're the people who care about, want to take their children to school, want to send them to college, want to buy the house. But I think you're going to be successful because I believe we got an iron president today. And that's what I
Thank you. So nice. Well, this has been an honor, and I look forward now to going. We're being led to this big, beautiful arena with lots of people. Not going to have any empty seats. We don't like to see empty seats. That's never a good sign. And I was watching on one of the newscasts about 4 hours ago, people lined up to get in there, Pete. So that's a tribute to all of you, Jason, Tom, you, Sean, all of you. But this is a very special part of the country. It's a great part of the country. And, you know, we got elected, I think, one of the greatest phrases ever, make America great again. Make America great again. And we're doing that. That's what we're doing. We're making America great again. And for our next campaign, we have a new slogan, which I think we can't use Make America Great Again because that would be like, gee, we didn't do it the first time. It's going to be very simple. Keep America great. Because that's what we're doing. Keep America great. So that'll be in another 2 years. We've gone through 500 days, and now you add 10 to it, so it's about 510 days. And I don't think there's been an administration in the first 500 days that's been close between regulations and taxes and Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch and many, many judges and so many other things, and rebuilding our military and doing so many things. And we're very proud of it, and I'm very proud of this state. This is a great place. This is an incredible place, and we will fulfill all of our promises. We've done most of them, and I appreciate the nice words, and I really do appreciate those beautiful words, coming from a former Democrat especially, right? I read former Democrat. But you are very special people, and thank you very much. It's been an honor. Thank you.